Tonight on WTOP-10 Nightly News, the yearly Quest Day presentations, what students are looking forward to, and who's presenting.
And a lack of new developments in the search for an alleged body in the Oswego River might bring the search to a pause.
Plus, new developments on the state budget has state government officials breathing a sigh of relief.
WTOP-10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Riley Jones.
And I'm Matt Bly.
Tomorrow, students won't be going to their usual classes, but that won't mean that there won't be opportunities for learning on campus. Oswego's annual Quest Day is taking place tomorrow, giving students and staff from all academic fields a chance to present their academic and creative pursuits.
Students will also have the opportunity to secure grants to further their work or to showcase their work at larger conferences. The presentations are starting tonight at Oswego's satellite campus in Syracuse, and presentations will be happening all day tomorrow on the main campus, all leading up to the keynote presentation from 2000 to the AI-based Renaissance being presented by guest speaker Honore J. Houston from Paramount.
Starting tonight, the Addams Family is coming to SUNY Oswego. The theater department will be hosting a musical based on the famous TV show in Waterman Theater in Tyler Hall. The Thursday and Friday shows are already sold out, but there are still open seats for tonight, Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can get your tickets at the box office in the Marano Campus Center or online at tickets.oswego.edu.
The search for the body spotted floating in the Oswego River has been temporarily paused as the search efforts have come up empty. Following reports of a sighting Sunday afternoon, emergency crews from Oswego County Dispatch were sent out. Personnel from the City of Oswego Fire Department and Police Department have used several water vessels as well as drones in an effort to find the body. However, after no updates and no new missing persons reports, the boats were pulled from the waters yesterday afternoon.
Oswego County Stop DWI Coordinator David Hall announced that members of the organization as well as law enforcement agencies across the state are collaborating to bring awareness to the dangers of driving while impaired. As National Weed Day approaches this Saturday, these partners will take part in the Stop DWI 420 Day High Visibility Engagement campaign, which lasts from the 19th to the 21st. If you do partake in the use of cannabis this weekend, please don't drive.
In a press conference earlier today, Governor Kathy Hochul held a discussion with legislative leaders about the state budget for 2025. Some key topics discussed include securing an agreement to handle the New York housing crisis by creating tax incentives for affordable housing, cracking down on retail theft by increasing penalties for offenders, and improving public safety through targeted investments in communities. While this is only a conceptual agreement, the House is expected to pass bills to act upon these priorities.
Close to 100 emergency vehicles arrived on the streets of Syracuse to escort the casket of slain Onondaga County Sheriff's Deputy and volunteer firefighter Michael Husak. Husak was shot and killed on Sunday night by a gunman after he arrived to a house in Salina, New York while on duty. His casket was moved from the medical examiner's office in downtown Syracuse to a funeral home in Salina. Along the path, many flags were hung over bridges, fire department's ladders were raised, and officers lined the side of the road to salute him and show respect.
Sullivan County is the first in the state to utilize a new method of cybersecurity being implemented by New York State. The New York State Security Operations Center is a new facility based in Brooklyn dedicated to 24/7 surveillance of foreign cyber threats. Officials said that Sullivan County was chosen due to its close relations with New York State Homeland Security and the state's Center for Internet Security. After the facility went live in late March, 45 other counties have already shown interest in the facility's resources.
A major touchdown in club sports. According to the NFL, flag football across the United States and globally is growing. Here on campus, members of the Oswego co-ed flag football team came together to take photos in preparation for their first tournament in the club's history. The tournament happened this past weekend at RIT Saturday. Even though it's their first tournament, President of the club, Dylan Zielinski, is proud of how far the team has come.
We're a family, we're a bunch of brothers and sisters in there. Like, we work hard, we show up every practice with each other. It's a great, tight group, and we've been trying to build that, and it's awesome.
The club also has plans to go to a national tournament this fall. That tournament is normally hosted in Maryland. And it was a pretty sunny day on campus today, the kind of weather that makes you want to try new things. Speaking of which, what do you have for us in the forecast today, Matt?
Yes, of course, Riley. First time at the weather wall, always ready to try something new. So, what are we thinking for this week? Well, there's going to be some rain in the first couple of days where, April showers bring May flowers, as they say, but you're going to need a raincoat or even just a sweatshirt if you really don't want to go out with too much on. But then later on, it's Oswego. There's going to be wind, so do as you usually do, prepare for that. Wear something maybe a little bit heavier. Try not to go outside too much to get blown over by the wind. And then also, it's been a bit warmer outside, but there will be some cooler temperatures following later in the week. I know it's sad, but I think if we stick through this last little bit of cold weather, eventually it's got to be summer here. At some point, it's got to get warm. So later on, it might come sooner than we think. And the sun will be out later, real late in this week, possibly later in the next week. But I'm not going to be the one telling you all about it, because after this break, my fellow co-anchor Riley Jones will be the one giving you your full weather forecast. But for now, that's all I have, so back to the desk.
Thanks, Matt. Still ahead tonight, more information on the fire that engulfed a famous landmark. Plus, the Supreme Court in D.C. held a meeting today. Find out why after the break.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
We'll deep dive into our feelings in our Real Talk segment. Stay tuned because it's about to get real.
What's going on?
Yeah, we go on at like 11:30. It's like,
No.
what do you mean no?
It's 10:30.
10:30?
Matt, it's 10:30.
What do you mean it's 10:30?
Hey, don't touch that. That's my ladder.
Hey, man.
Whoa. You know this book was already discounted 10%?
Wow.
Wow.
Get a close up of that one. Matthew,
Broadcast news.
Look at that.
can we go back inside? I want to sleep in the studio again.
Welcome back to WTOP-10 Nightly News. I'm your impromptu meteorologist, Riley Jones. Taking a look at what's going on today. As of right now, it's currently 46 degrees out, and it's clear today. The weather was really nice out, and we were all comfortable walking around in just a t-shirt and some jeans, I think. And I think that's partially because it was clear. We were able to get some of that sun shining, and really felt great out today. Moving on. So yeah, 46 degrees here in Oswego. Similar conditions back home in Utica, but it seems like as you move farther west, it gets just a little bit warmer. Looking at about 53 over there in Buffalo, 50 in Rochester, and 50 sort of in North Dansville. If we take a look up at Watertown, right up there, we can assume that it was a little bit colder as it's closer to Lake Ontario, and it would have a little bit more of those winds going on. Taking a look at our precipitation, looking mostly just for a chance of rain to occur tomorrow for Quest Day. So that should be all right for most of us that are planning on going to any of the events being held tomorrow. However, Thursday it's going to be way up with a very likely chance of rain to be occurring. Then on Friday, it's sinking down just a little bit, sort of almost level with how it was Wednesday, and then Saturday even less of a chance, and then it looks like we're supposed to be clear for Sunday. Taking a look at our 7-day forecast. Tomorrow is supposed to be 56 degrees with late rain and showers, so hopefully that'll miss us with Quest Day. Similar conditions also occurring on Thursday. It's going to warm up a little bit on Friday with rain showers scattered throughout the day. And then again, similar conditions, but the temperature is going to drop a little bit, and it's supposed to get a little bit breezy. However, the sun comes out early next week with mostly sunny, and only partly cloudy conditions Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. That's all for my forecast. Back to Matt at the desk.
Thanks, Riley. The Supreme Court's conservative majority in D.C. indicated today that it may toss out a charge prosecutors lodged against hundreds of people who took part on January 6th riot at the Capitol. Amid the more than 90-minute arguments, the majority of justices voiced their disputes about the Justice Department's use of a law passed by Congress more than 2 decades ago in reaction to the Enron accounting scandal. The court is expected to make a decision that could have ramifications for 350 people charged with obstructing an official proceeding for their part in the Capitol attack.
The trio of new investigations is now underway to see who may be responsible for the deadly Baltimore bridge collapse. This as 2 of the victims' bodies are still missing. Cole Higgins reports.
Our state has been grieving for 3 weeks, but for these families, I know it has felt like an eternity.
3 weeks after a massive cargo ship struck Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge, authorities confirmed the body of a 4th victim has been recovered. 6 construction workers who were working on the bridge at the time of the collapse plunged into the Patapsco River and died. 2 of their bodies are still missing.
They were living the American dream, fixing America's infrastructure. Out there just filling potholes, not knowing it was going to be their last day.
Attorneys for the families of 2 of the victims and 1 survivor announcing they are conducting their own investigation into the bridge collision. The state of Maryland still reeling from the collapse, working to clear the channel and open vessel traffic to the port.
We have moved around 1,100 tons of steel. That 1,100 tons of steel is 5 times the weight of the Statue of Liberty.
Meanwhile, the FBI confirms the agency, along with the Coast Guard, has launched a criminal investigation into the bridge collapse, telling us, quote, the FBI is present aboard the cargo ship Dolly, conducting court-authorized law enforcement activity. The city of Baltimore also looking into who may be to blame for destroying the bridge that 30,000 Marylanders relied on every day.
Anything that we can do to help Baltimore recover from that tragedy.
I'm Cole Higgins reporting.
The National Transportation Safety Board has also been investigating why the 213 million-pound ship lost power and crashed into the 47-year-old bridge. That probe has been focused on engine room equipment.
A fire engulfs Copenhagen's old stock exchange, one of the Danish capital's most famous landmarks, causing its spire to collapse as staff and citizens scrambled to rescue paintings and historic artifacts from the blaze. The old stock exchange, located only a few minutes' walk from Christiansborg Palace, dates back to 1625. It was built in the Dutch Renaissance style at the request of King Christian IV and had recently been undergoing renovations, which its facade covered in scaffolding and protective coverings.
The Olympic torch has been lit ahead of the 2024 Paris Games. In line with the ancient tradition, the flame was lit in Olympia, Greece. Greek rowing champion Stefanos Douskos handed the flame to 3-time French Olympic medalist Laurie Menudo. 600 torchbearers will carry it over 3 weeks as the flame journeys from France to France before the opening ceremony in Paris of July 26th. When WTOP-10 Nightly News continues, EV sales are in need of a recharge.
And some concerns over the safety of a big-name airline.
Say, President Stanley, whenever there's bad weather, who would you turn to?
I'd turn to Storm Team 10.
No, but you've got to say it like this. Storm Team 10. Say it with me. Storm Team 10.
Roll it.
Jill told me it was Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
It's Al Roker.
Welcome back to WTOP-10 Nightly News. Here's your health and consumer update. Sales of electric vehicles may have hit a speed bump. Kelley Blue Book reports nearly 270,000 EVs were sold in the U.S. during the first 3 months of the year. It's at 2.6% increase from a year ago. However, it is a nearly 7.5% less compared to the final quarter of last year. Tesla has been especially hard hit. Company sales fell more than 13% during the first quarter of the year compared with a year ago.
The union representing American Airlines' pilots says it's seen a, quote, significant spike in safety issues on flights. Tools left in aircraft wheel wells, collisions involving planes being towed on runways, and pressure to get planes back in service to maintain performance goals, all problems that American Airlines have faced recently. The warning from the union comes after a series of recent incidents in the airline industry. Last month alone, there were a dozen incidents on United Airline flights.
The average cost of a wedding broke $30,000 for the first time in 2023. While the life event is one of the most stressful and expensive ventures a couple makes, wedding planners can help make it seamless, but only if they show up.
In today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan shares some of the do's and don'ts to stop a scammer from unpending the big day.
Scammed on her special day.
I always think back to what my day could have been.
Anna Ochoa reliving her wedding day when her dream Beverly Hills wedding went from planned perfection to chaos.
It's one of the most special days in anyone's lives. And to be robbed of that, she didn't take that just from me. She took that from our parents, our siblings, our whole family.
She being her wedding planner. Anna paid her over $13,000 in 2016 to secure the venue, flowers, and food. A deal, Anna thought, because the planner claimed she'd waive the taxes if she was paid in cash.
A month before the wedding, everything was already paid off.
Paid for, but not put on. Instead, the morning of Anna's wedding, she received texts that the reception wasn't happening.
Do you still want to get married, or do we start calling everyone because we have 300 guests?
Anna's uncle hosted her reception in his backyard, a last-minute resort that Lauren Kay from the wedding planning site The Knot says would be unacceptable.
We have removed people from our vendor marketplace.
To avoid scams, Lauren says to only use reputable websites, read reviews, also word of mouth, and before making any decisions, go beyond the screens. One non-negotiable before you sign on the dotted line:
Every reputable vendor will have a contract. Make sure you read through it.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Shakira is going on a world tour, her first since 2018. She'll kick things off November 2nd in Palm Desert, California, with stops across the U.S. and Canada, wrapping up in Detroit December 15th. The tour will feature music from her latest album, Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran, released in March. The album, which translates to Women No Longer Cry, it's her 12th studio album.
The Justice Department is planning to file an antitrust lawsuit against Live Nation. Live Nation, which is the parent company of Ticketmaster, has faced issues in the past over its dominance in the ticketing industry. Critics suggest that it is only able to raise ticket prices because of a lack of competition. But Live Nation claims prices are determined by the artists' teams and venues. Lawmakers started raising questions about the company's practices since the pre-sale meltdown of Taylor Swift's Eras Tour.
Coming up in sports, it's our Jaden Jiggets.
Hey Jaden, can you give us a quick preview?
Certainly. Coming up, we will have some double-header action. Tune in for that and more after the break.
And it could be your last chance to see one occur for 2 decades, as the next time one will be visible over the continental U.S.
He's May 84. Yarrow told police in the hospital that he had pressed the doorbell and waited.
They mix with oxygen and nitrogen and can briefly
What's going on?
Yeah, we go on at like 11:30. It's like
No.
What do you mean no?
It's 10:30.
10:30?
Yeah, it's 10:30.
What do you mean it's 10:30? Hey, don't touch that. That's my ladder.
Hey, man.
Whoa. You know this book was already discounted 10%?
Wow. Get a close up of that one. Matthew,
Broadcast news.
Look at that.
Can we go back inside? I want to sleep in the studio again.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your sports anchor, Jaden Jiggets, here with WTOP-10 Nightly News. Kicking off tonight's news, Oswego's women lacrosse raises their win streak to 3 after blown-out victory today against Buffalo State, final score being 19-6. The Lakers led their dominance in this game by scoring in every period against the Bengals, including putting up 8 goals in the second period alone. The Lakers will now have time to rest before their next matchup on the road this Saturday, April 20th, when they face off against Plattsburgh State. Game time will take place at 11 a.m. Staying with Oswego sports, Oswego's baseball gets their 14th win on the season after a victory on the road today against Ithaca College, final score being 11-6. Both teams had some innings with 0 runs being made, but it was the Lakers' performance in the beginning that ultimately won them this game, as they had 7 total runs in the first inning. The Lakers will return home for their matchup this Friday, April 19th, when they take on the Cortland Red Dragons. Game time will begin at 3 p.m. Moving from baseball to softball, Oswego softball split a win and loss after their doubleheader today against SUNY Brockport. Game 1 ending with a final score of 8-0, and Game 2 final score being 3-7. The Lakers in Game 1 gained momentum in the fourth inning after successfully getting 6 runs to help secure the game, but lost momentum in Game 2 once the Golden Eagles started racking up runs. The Lakers will now need to have their focus on tomorrow, Wednesday, April 17th, where they will face St. John Fisher University at home in doubleheader action. Game 1 will be at 3 p.m. and Game 2 will be at 5 p.m. Speaking of doubleheaders, Syracuse softball will be hosting Canisius tomorrow afternoon, Wednesday, April 17th, for some doubleheader action. Even though the Orange has swept its last 2 doubleheaders, both teams are walking into this game after a loss and are looking to improve their season record with a victory. Game 1 tomorrow will start at 2:30 p.m. and Game 2 will be right after at 4:30 p.m. On to more Syracuse news. Congratulations to Syracuse guard Deasia Fair, as she was selected 16th overall in the 2024 WNBA draft by the Las Vegas Aces. The Rochester native becomes the 6th player in WNBA history to be drafted out of Syracuse. Fair has etched her name into the Orange record books, as she is the fastest player to score 1,000 points at Syracuse in women's basketball history in just 50 games. She also holds the career scoring average record in the school with 22 points per game, as she looks forward to making noise in Nevada this upcoming WNBA season. Now, as we move on to baseball, we are in Queens, New York at Citi Fields for the New York Mets versus the Pittsburgh Pirates. And as you can see, it is Jackie Rob Day. He had his wife right there, sitting there, 101 years old. Yeah, she's up there in age. But that's besides the point. Let's focus on the action. And already we can see DJ Stewart getting his team rally up, ready to go, and all that. And here we go. And oh, would you look at that? Okay, you see, are they clapping for a reason? Because Chapman sat there and he not only threw an off ball, that way it gives the team some time, but it was a double steal by both. It was a double steal by both Stewart and McNeil. And as you can see, that ball is out. That's a fly ball at the end of, and the Mets have won the game with that fly ball right there. The score was 6-3 to end it off.
What a game, right?
It was a good game.
How are you feeling about the Mets this season?
I feel like the Mets, they have a good opportunity to actually do good this season. They got their record neutral 8-8. So I feel like they got a chance.
You guys both Mets fans?
I'm a Yankees fan.
Oh, all right.
Well, that's our report for tonight.
You know, we appreciate your support.
Thank you guys for watching, and have a great night, everyone.
Yeah, news.
What's going on?
Yeah, dude, we go on at like 11:30. It's like
No.
What do you mean no?
It's 10:30.
10:30?
Yeah, it's 10:30.
What do you mean it's 10:30?
Hey, don't touch that. That's my ladder.
Hey, man.
Whoa. You know this book was already discounted 10%?
Wow. Get a close up with that one.
Matthew,
Look at that.
Can we go back inside? I want to sleep in the studio again.
We'll deep dive into our feelings in our Real Talk segment. Stay tuned because it's about to get real.